It's the 1960s. America can't stop talking about nukes, the fake moon landing, and the music, which everybody loved. People couldn't get enough of the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, but little did anybody know, one man was about to come along and change the way we listen to it forever. So yeah, this is Jester Lens, where I talk about history and make very slightly offensive jokes. You see, before we had Spotify, Apple Music, and that other piece, there were these big black things. Oh, no, I can't say that. But yeah, there were records. And I think everybody knows how a record works. You throw the needle on there, it makes a noise, kind of like how you would if a homeless person stabbed you with a dirty needle. Anyway, in the year 1960, an employee of Philips Norelco named Lou Ottens has this super revolutionary idea. He says, hey, guys, let's put a record player in a car. Great idea, right? Absolutely not. This was the biggest flop of all time. Fortunately, Lou's career was just getting started. He went back to the drawing board and he crafted up something very special. It started with the idea that cameras use film for pictures, so why can't we do the same thing with audio? And also make it the size of a micro penis. And just like that, America gets the cassette tape. And Lou Ottens becomes an absolute mogul in the industry. Okay, so that actually did not happen at all. When the cassette tape first came out, it was actually pretty lame. It was being used for like recording lectures and just like remembering things. And Lou Ottens, being the G that he was like,
oh, come on, homie. Who really wants to sit here and listen to me yap about bridges for an hour?
But the problem is, Philips at the time was not a major player in the music industry. So they didn't have pull like that, you know? Good thing Lou knew some absolute nut jobs that took a transistor out of a hearing aid and turned it into a pocket-sized radio. Now, if anybody could help Lou get these things on the shelves, it was these guys. Not to mention, they also made the best Spider-Mans of all time. And we're talking about Sony here, guys, by the way. What an entrance. I mean, seriously, these guys came in and they just went so crazy. They helped out Lou and they got the cassettes on the shelves, and we love them for that. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. So yeah, our boy Lou goes into this meeting with Sony knowing that Philips Norelco does not have quite enough pull to make this the hit that he wanted it to be. Not to mention, there's also competitors in the market, like RCA had the 8-track and stuff like that. And Sony recognizes this and they're like,
spectacular, give me 14 of them right now.
They actually did not pay Philips any money. They just took it. But here's the thing. Ottens did not care about the money. Like I said, he only cared about making this a hit. And not to mention, if Sony is selling out cassette tapes and you have some Philips cassette tapes right next to him on the shelf, chances are people are going to buy the Philips ones too. But there was still one problem, and it's that cassette players sucked. They were really clunky, they had built-in speakers, and they were just kind of a pain in the ass. So in 1979, Sony says, okay, let's stop messing around and start walking around. See where this is going?
Sony introduces the only cassette player as small as a cassette case. The incredible sounding...
The Walkman came with 2 headphone jacks, which allowed you and one friend to submerge yourself into the music and also listen to Olivia Newton-John without anybody knowing or making fun of you. Now, I also think it's important to note that the Walkman was not a hit at first. Sony actually had to employ young teens that quote-unquote looked cool to wear the Walkmans in popular cities and get the word out. They actually did hit me up for the campaign. Unfortunately, I was busy swimming around in my dad's. Great instance of guerrilla marketing here. So now Lou is like, okay, well played, Sony. Great job. He was a little jealous. I would be too. Now Lou continues to climb the corporate ladder at Philips, and they begin cooking up something again. They said, you got the radio, we have the cassette tape. What if you hear your favorite song on the radio and you could just record it and play it back, but on a massive box with humongous speakers, and for some reason it's really cool to carry them around even though they weigh like 50 pounds. This is a direct quote from a Philips Norelco board meeting, by the way. And this is how the boombox was born. Now, this swept the nation. It's not clear who invented the first by definition boombox, but Philips was definitely one of the major players that came into the market with this type of technology and absolutely crushed it. But Lou, nah, he wasn't done. Okay. So this is where everything comes full circle. Literally. Lou worked his way up through the company and he was now named technical director of Philips audio division. Kind of a big shot. So, you guys remember his first idea, the record player in the car? I guess he never really let go of that. And him and his team were like, all right, wait a minute. We have some pretty cool technology now. We have software, we have computers. What if we made the record much smaller and it was read by a laser instead of a needle? And I know what you're thinking. There is no way that this guy invented the cassette tape and helped invent the CD. Yeah, he did, dude. He did that. But unfortunately, there was one thing that they needed to make it work that they just could not figure out. So they went back to their pals over at Sony and made a deal to help standardize the compact disc. Now, Sony had one request, kind of weird if you ask me, but in order to fit Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, which was 74 minutes long, they would have to expand the disc size from 11.5 centimeters to 12 centimeters, which for all my Americans is about 4.5 inches. Massive, some might say. I mean, it changed the world. So, just saying. But yeah, that concludes today's documentary about Lou Ottens. You can now bring him up in a random conversation with somebody who doesn't know who he is and absolutely blow their mind. If you like this video, please subscribe, make sure to leave a like, and comment what you hate about me. I'll see you guys in the next one.